Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome back SVG Europe editor Heather McLean to the stage, and she's going to introduce our very special guest.
Thank you, Will. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here today with the absolutely wonderful Vili Nedialkova. Thank you for joining me today, Vili.
Thank you for inviting.
So you've covered a huge number of events in over nearly 5 decades of your career. The last 3 of which have been spent at ZDF as a international sports coordinator. What have been the highlights and proudest moments for you?
Yes, it has been really a long, long time, but a person always remembers the first event and the last one, so to say. For me, the first was the World Cup in 1978 in Argentina. It was not only because it was the first, a special event, but it was a special political situation. It was, for me, a first-time travel over the ocean to South America. The first time I worked as a liaison officer in a joint operations group from Intervision and Eurovision. So actually there I saw for the first time really the world of sports broadcasting. And interesting was at that time it was still affordable also for small stations like South American radio stations to cover the event with one person. So I was always calling them one-man shows. It was little cabins where they were doing the whole broadcasting. And at the same time you saw huge companies like my future company ZDF, where there was a massive presence on site and everything was covered, what was possible to cover. So for me, this was really interesting. The event was successful, no matter what size the broadcasting operation was. So this was my first step into international broadcasting. Mm-hmm. And my last event was last year, the Olympic Summer Games in Tokyo 21, which was another special event because there were so many doubts around this event because of the pandemics. We had to reprogram it many, many times. And at the end, I think the broadcast community and especially OBS showed really a broadcasting over highest quality possible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I have done, of course, many other, let's say, like single events, which I remember. I had in 2004, I think, a football match, Iran versus Germany, which was a special highlight for me as a woman. It was very difficult to be accepted that I'm doing and organizing this event. So I will remember this. Or we have been producing in Siberia and in Kazakhstan. As ZDF, for the first time, a foreign company was able to do it with own technical means, with SNGs. That was an absolutely premiere for us. And my highlights are also 2 host broadcasting events. One was the World Championships in Biathlon in 2007 in Italy, where ZDF was the host broadcaster, and the World Athletics World Championships in Berlin in 2009. I think these were very outstanding events for me.
There's a lot to choose from.
Yes, that's true.
And who have been the major influences on your career during that time, in terms of mentors and colleagues that have gone out their way to help push you forwards, and what did they teach you?
Well, over so many years, of course, I met many, many remarkable professionals in our industry, and it's impossible to name them all or even more of them, but I would like to mention 2 people. One person was Manolo Romero. He was definitely the person who, let's say, pushed me into sports broadcasting. When I first met him in Argentina in '78, I was so deeply impressed by his knowledge. And what I learned from him is that if you want to be good in your field, if you want really to be good in what you are doing, you have to go deep into the details in each field of television. In programming, in the director's concept, in engineering with all the new technologies applied, and also in production, keeping always an eye on the budget and on the figures that they are right. So he really teach me that it is a complex business and that it is very good to change the sides, to be on the host broadcasting side, on the organizing committee side, because this gives you the possibility to understand much more the needs of the broadcasters, of the clients, and of the ones who are delivering the product. Mm-hmm. And the other person is present in the hall, it's Francis Tellier, who also I consider a person who taught me a lot. He is a completely different personality from Manolo, but from him I learned that we broadcasters, nevertheless, on which side we are on the table, that we are one community and that we have to find a way to work together and to find together solutions for any kind of problem. So these are, let's say, the lessons I learned from these two persons, among many others, of course.
And over your fantastically long career, what are the major changes you've seen technically and culturally over the past few decades in sports broadcasting that have really stood out for you and maybe fundamentally changed the way you work?
Yeah. Well, when I started, we started with film and with 2-inch tapes. I don't know if you remember them, and with typewriters. That means a lot of scripts and program schedules have to be retyped hundreds of times until we got there. When the computer came, I thought, well, it's now a copy and paste job. But then suddenly I found out that no, each job and each event is unique. And this is the speciality in live sports broadcasting. You can never repeat a mistake, and you can do another one, but not to repeat it. And then what the first bigger change, in my opinion, was with the widening of the broadcast possibilities, speaking the satellites, the fiber, the IP solutions, because this gave huge opportunities to create more content, to do streaming, to do more channels and so on. I mean, when you consider in the past we had Summer Olympics squeezed into 3-4 multilateral channels because there was just no other possibility to do it. And now we are talking about enhanced production, we are talking about Content Plus and multi-clip feeds, and so many more. Content. This is the possibility to achieve it. Another thing I would say is live view, especially when it got more reliable and safer. I think this is a significant change in the way of working, and I would also say the remote production has started now not so long ago, but already showed good results, and this will be a serious change for the future, I would say.
Yes. And what have you enjoyed most about your career in sports broadcasting?
I would say the international community of broadcasters. The uniqueness of each event, the beauty of each event, the possibility to have the interface and the intermediation between your organization, between the host country, the organization, this interaction of the different parties, being it the host broadcaster, being it the organizing committee or sponsors or satellite providers. I think this is a rich possibility to know the host country, to know their people, to make friendship on a personal level. This is something very, very unique, and sport is really uniting the world, and I really hope that it will happen and will continue so in future, because this is something very special for our broadcasting.
Absolutely. And I know you're kind of semi-retired at the moment, but have you got any plans to get back in the business again?
Well, I'm open for any kind of opportunities.
You can see Vili in the networking later.
But of course, I would like to continue from time to time on a freelance basis to do something in a host broadcaster team, or I don't know, or to teach youngsters, because there's many things which are not written in the book. And yeah, I think I have the patience and to doing this. I don't know, something like this maybe.
Sounds fun. Definitely a need for you. Great. Now, thank you so much, but we're not quite finished yet. We're here for something quite special. I'll just leave Vili Nedialkova, or Vili to her friends, has had a career that epitomises the term epic. She's taken part in 20 Summer and Winter Olympics, 11 Paralympics, 11 FIFA World Cups, 10 World Athletic Championships, and many, many more events over the last few decades. Her sports broadcasting career took its first steps in our homeland of Bulgaria at Bulgarian National TV, also known as BNT, in 1975. There she covered news and current affairs, and over the 16 years she was there to 1990, she segued into sports broadcasting, which increased in prominence over subsequent decades. Her first in sport happened at BNT with the Argentinian World Cup in 1978, and in 1980, her first Olympics, which was held in Moscow that year. In 1991, Vili left BNT and went to host broadcaster Radio Television Olimpica, the predecessor of the Olympic Broadcasting Services, to cover the 1992 Barcelona Games. While she was there, she was headhunted by German broadcaster ZDF, where she has remained for the duration of her career, that she retired from at the end of 2001 as international sport coordinator. She made the move to Germany in November 92 after the Games on a one-year contract to help the broadcaster produce the 93 World Championships in athletics in Stuttgart, and they asked her to stay. Aside from 2 pre-agreed contracts she'd agreed to fulfill for other clients in 94 for the USA World Cup and the Winter Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway, she's had a long and illustrious career at ZDF over the last 29 years. Her final Olympics was Tokyo last year, which she says was one of the most challenging, with the pandemic meaning the programming and planning for it had to be redone 5 times. However, as always, she was undaunted. Vili is a unique woman. She is a problem solver, unfazed by challenging situations and dangerous locations. She's been a person that others have been able to look up to over almost 5 decades in sports broadcasting. She's a pioneer in this industry and has seen it evolve into the huge global business it is today. And she's touched the lives of many in sports broadcasting. To that end, we are here today to honour Vili's career by awarding her with the SVG Europe 2021 Outstanding Contribution to European Sports Broadcasting Award. But before I give her that, let's hear from some of her friends.
Vili is a real legend in the broadcasting industry, especially in sport, and she has been extremely helpful over the years for her colleagues and as well for us broadcasters. She has been a sort of major troubleshooter, which is not to be. It's not like being a troublemaker. She's a troubleshooter, which means that she will have read all the documentations. She will have taken note of what is unclear or what is unacceptable. And she will ask questions on behalf of the whole broadcast community. And when Vili is asking a question, you better listen cautiously to her.
She always had her heart with the work, especially with regards to sports production. And I would say the broadcasting of sports events like it's nowadays couldn't be achieved without her influence. And there was a lot of influence, especially for the Paralympic sports. And she always read about sports broadcasting solutions and development, and she knows so many people, and that's why I think that the combination of it is something that is very rare nowadays, and that's why I totally agree that she received this award.
When we finished the games of Tokyo, the very difficult games of Tokyo last year, we recognized the fact that Vili unfortunately would not be continuing any longer with the Olympic Games, that she would be retiring. And I think it was a moment where instinctively everybody in the room, all Olympic broadcasters, stood up and started applauding for minutes. I think this happened so naturally because of who Vili is and what she means for all of us. She has been an Olympic broadcaster in, I think, more than 20 Olympic Games, numerous World Cups, number of major sporting events. So she has been an intrinsic part of major sport events. But not only that, I think she has brought into this job not just her professionalism, but pursuit of excellence, but also this very unique passion that she has. And and a sense of humanity and universality, even from the fact that she speaks any possible language in the world. This shows a deep desire to connect with people, to establish a relationship, and there's nothing more Olympic than that. And I think this is also the reason why, in recognition of her contribution, the International Olympic Committee, after the Games of Tokyo, awarded her with the Golden Ring Award for her lifetime achievement. It has been a pleasure, but also a distinct honor working with Vili for so many years. I have learned so many things from her, and she always found the way to inspire us and encourage us, even in the most difficult moments. And I thank her so much for that.
And on that note, it makes me very proud to be able to present Vili with this award.
Well, I'm actually not prepared to say many words. I can only say that I was very surprised last autumn when I got the phone call that I will be awarded the special statue, and I still don't know how I'm getting to this honor, honestly said. Well, what can I say? I mean, I can only say thank you. I'm really honored and deeply touched that I'm receiving this award. And I want, first of all, to thank the two companies I worked my life with. First, the Bulgarian television for the different opportunities they gave me in my early career to try out different things in television, to see where my strength is and where would I like to be developing in the future. And then, of course, to thank ZDF that they trusted in me, that they gave me so many opportunities to work on different events and to achieve many, many highlights for the German broadcasting, giving me the possibilities to go to so many Olympic Games, World Cups, and many, many other World Championships. And of course, I like to thank all the teams and people from different nationalities whom I met over the years and who really paved my way into this kind of broadcasting, live sports broadcasting. And I really think that this is an award which they all deserve as well. So thank you very much.